Hello, hello, welcome on board this evening. My name is Temitope Olodo. I'm a preventive terrorism consultant, author, and president of African Security Forum. And this evening, well, I'm not going to waste your time really. I believe there is a need for us to look at the issue of what happened in the September 11 incident, and actually try and reflect on some of the lessons that Nigeria, the biggest black nation in Africa, could actually learn from that incident, because it's quite sad that after 20 years, even though America actually won the war in terms of military might, strategically they did not win, because they had to leave that country, with all the investment, the amount of money that was invested into that nation in terms of military hardware, and they had to leave everything, you know it's really sad. But there are things that Nigeria could learn from that incident, because I was watching it, you know, like many security analysts and many global citizens around the world. We were watching the incident, and I was taken aback by some of the things that were said. The families, over close to 3,000 people lost their life on that fateful day. Uh, 20 years ago, September 11th, actually, to be precise. And many other thousands of people lost their life subsequently following, the invasion of, Afghanistan, looking for Osama bin Laden. But it must be said that if it was a matter of regime change, it actually happened because for 20 years, Taliban did not have an opportunity of ruling over that country. So that, you could say, the Americans achieved, and Osama bin Laden also was taken out, and Al Qaeda was actually gotten rid of. No, Al Qaeda was gotten rid of in Afghanistan. But there are so many groups that have actually come up in Afghanistan. And part of the challenges now is, how will the Taliban, who had gone into bed with some of these groups in order to put pressure on the Americans to leave and the allied nations, how would they be able to rule on their own and get rid of these individuals or these groups, this terrorist group, and how would they be able to successfully ensure that Afghanistan does not become the what they call the hub for exporting, radicalization and terrorism across the globe. That is the big question. Can Nigeria learn a lesson from it? That is what we are actually going to be talking about. But there's something that struck me, and I think we need to talk about that. I think Nigeria could learn from this incident. You know, when Boko Haram actually started the activities, when Boko Haram came into existence, that was about 18 years ago. We're talking of 2002. You know, a lot of people did not give them any any space. We just felt there's just are just ordinary group. They started with recording their messages in tape recorders, and now they've gone global to putting their videos on YouTube. They started in the local area in Borno, and now they spread across more than three countries. They're in Chad, they're in Niger, they're in Cameroon, and they're in Nigeria. So a group that started locally in Maduguri had become a group that have expanded. This group, over a period of over a period of 12 years, were responsible for at least 500 attacks on military installations. We're not talking of civilian installations now. You know, military installations. They went after super camps and sacked super camp. They killed, you know, senior officers. They killed junior officers. You know, at least more than Yeah, now, more than what can I say? More than seven, a lot of soldiers were killed. At least more than 2,000 soldiers were killed. You know, uh, by this group. So it is a serious issue. And what is it about uh, Boko Haram that Nigeria need to learn lesson from? And what I'm saying is, what about Taliban? What is it from Taliban that Nigeria could learn lesson from? You know, I think there are a lot of things, similarities between Boko Haram and the Taliban that Nigeria could learn from. And I know some people will jump, oh, don't say that because they have government, they have recognized government. I'm not talking from that perspective. Boko Haram is in existence within the Nigeria, within ungoverned space in Nigeria, and they are collecting taxes from citizens. They are the only one that Nigerian citizens have known as their lord and master in certain areas. And let's not kid ourselves if we think the Nigerian government have control over all its territory. In the Lake Chad area and some parts of northern Nigeria, Boko Haram is still lord and master. And they are controlling those people, slaughtering them, taking taxes from them, and those people can't even come to the government to complain because they know that if they complain or if they stand up to fight off, even if the Boko Haram are able to get rid of military, even attack a military, a governor, a sitting governor. What about individuals that do not are not entitled to carry guns? How could they fight such a group? So we need to be a bit realistic in our thinking about what the government could achieve. I'm not saying that the Nigerian government or the military have not achieved anything. Of course, they've arrested a lot of people, they've killed a lot of terrorist group, but that withstanding, they've not been able to get to the root of Boko Haram and actually get rid of them. So, what lessons can Nigeria, the Nigerian government, learn from the incident that happened with Boko Haram, with Taliban, and transpose those lessons for dealing with Boko Haram in Nigeria? For me personally, I think there is one lesson that the Nigerian government could learn. A lesson is that it is not about the weaponry. Weapon is important because all you know, the helicopters and everything have not actually got rid of the Taliban's, and it has been shown that some of those weapons will be used have been used by the Taliban's even against, the Allied forces and even against the Afghan soldier military. In fact, the Afghan military were running away, just like the Nigerian military were running away from Boko Haram when they attacked their super camp. So you could see the similarities. I'm not making them up. These guys were attacking super camps and taking away weapons and using the Nigerian weapons against the Nigerian army and military forces and installations. So there are things that we need to learn. What we should learn is that it's not about weaponry, but it's about motivation motivation of the military, motivation of the men that they put on the ground, motivating them to be able to withstand and fight. I think one of the very important things we need to do is look at how soldiers could hold their grounds. It's about combat soldiers, infantry soldiers being able to hold their grounds against some of these untrained groups of diabolical individuals. Because the motivation, these guys are motivated, they are ready to face the gun and die. Our soldiers are not ready to do that. I'm not saying they're not ready, fully ready to do that. They're not ready to die because when they die, what is there for their family? When some of them, their family immediately they die, less than 1 month or 2 months after they are driven out of the barrack. and they don't have any insurance, they don't have anything to fall back on. That's the reason why the welfare of the soldiers and people that are in the war front is important, and changing them, giving them time. Some of them have complained that they've been in the war front for more than the prescribed time that they're supposed to be there. Some of them have developed post-traumatic stress, and nobody is looking at that. Nobody is looking at their welfare. So we noticed that when the Taliban decided to start their sweeping, it only took them less than 3 weeks to be able to sweep through the country, because the military, the military were just surrendering. Were just surrendering. That could happen in Nigeria if Boko Haram decide to say, we're going to sweep through. And you found out that, it's not that we found out. We know a lot of people even left Nigerian military and dropped their uniform and said they're not going. They're not joining the military. There was a time, when the military were leaving. So those are very, very serious issues. So there are lessons that could be learned from the 20-year anniversary of the 9/11 and the subsequent attack of Afghanistan. That it is not about the big weapon, but it's more about the motivation of the soldiers on ground. Motivate them. One of the things that have happened of recent is that the military came out to say that 5,000 Boko Haram members have, accepted, to lay down their weapons, and now they need to be rehabilitated back. But nobody is saying the atrocity they committed, you know, will be addressed. And now it's so sad because I feel that there are things that need to be look at. I would like to play you this video because I think it's important that we look at some of the things that are really, really happening um, in in the north, which we really, really need to to address, because these are very, very serious issues. Let me see if this video we play, and then we could. Um, oh, the video is not coming up. There's a problem here. Let me try and share another video, because I've got some videos that I would really like to share with you, because I believe those videos will give you a kind of an understanding some of the challenges that are happening, you know, in Nigeria. Let's see if this video will play.
suna kashe mana 'yan uwa da abokan arziki, 'yan uwa musulmi suna kukan cewar su musulmi ne, amma ba musulman ba ne ba, musulman ƙarya ne, a baki suke musulmai.
Those are one of the videos. I've got lots of those videos, and recently the military have locked down, or they've locked down Zamfara State, Niger State. All those places are areas that with hybrid bandits. Those are mixtures of both Boko Haram and bandits. These same bandits in Mina and Bida were responsible for shooting down a fighter jet. Shooting down a fighter jet. For bandit to shoot down a fighter jet shows you the kind of weapons that they have. And yet the Nigerian government seems to be, no, they are serious now, because they've actually gone after and shut down the whole a whole state, to go after this bandit, and they've now come to realize that they really, really need to deal with this thing, because this thing is spreading across northern Nigeria. It is really, really spreading as we speak. More than 7,000 schools, more than 7,000 schools in the north have been shut down because these bandits are going after school. As we know, Boko Haram were the first people to go after schools with the Chibok girls, Yankara, the Zankara girls, so many s- a spectacular adoption and kidnap of school children have gone on in northern Nigeria. And some of these girls have not even been brought back. Some of the boys in their school were burnt alive in their school. Very, very sad. And yet there are still schools that are not protected in the north. And you ask, what is government doing? But what saddens my heart is, as I watch the 9/11 incident, it struck me that nothing had been done for the thousands of lives that have been lost throughout this battle with Boko Haram. In Baga alone, which is in northern Nigeria, more than 2,000 people lost their life, similar to the 9/11 incident. And when I saw names of people that lost their life being read out, I cried for the Nigerian soul because it seems as if the government do not value them. There have never been a memorial, even to say, you know what, the 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 war in against Boko Haram is not over, but we are going to set aside a day to remember the victims of Boko Haram in Nigeria. And that day can be a day where we honor, where across Nigeria we lower the flag. There is something that is done for the military, but they don't even read names of the military. They just go there, they lay flowers. We don't value life in Nigeria. Especially in the north, they don't. I'm sorry to say this. It's like people just die, they just bury them in mass grave and just leave them. Some people that have been killed are just killed, they just bury them. But imagine if, you know, we read out the names of people who's who have lost their life due to the impact of Boko Haram, and family members hear the name of their family being mentioned on radio and television, and the names are being mentioned, and we have a 1 minute silence for them. Can you imagine how those children, their children, will feel? Can you imagine how their wives will feel, their widows will feel? Can you imagine how their sons will feel and how their daughters will feel? They will feel valued. Instead, we say we are taking back people that have committed this atrocity, that have burned mosque, that have burned marketplace. We are bringing them down without justice, without saying that they are even going to stay, and let's even take them to court. I know Nigeria do not have data to be able to take some of these people to court, but some of them have even confessed. How can you take people that have killed people that you know they've killed people and you just release them, you give them money? Why people in the IDP camp, where we have more than 2 million people in IDP camp, even if you give those people 50,000 naira, some of them will be more than happy to return back to their ancestral home and to start business. Some of them, you don't need to go and build these elaborate houses, even if you just give them cement and sand and you employ mass train most of the youths in breakering, electrical work, and carpentry work, and you tell them the government will be paying you 5,000 naira per or 10,000 naira per month. Just every family that want to rebuild their house, just say, okay, this guy is the one that is going to come and rebuild the house, and then every month when they show pictures of how far they've gone with their house, you give them cement. You don't need to give them money, just be giving them cement. The government should buy cement, buy the sand, and be giving it to them for them to rebuild the house the way they want to rebuild it. They want to build 3,000 five bedroom, let them build it. They want to build three, let them build it. Don't say you are building houses for them, which is another form of corruption, and you are building houses which should be the amount you say you are building the house can be even 10 houses. The price of one house that you say you build can build 10 houses for these people. Or some of these people, they are villages, they don't need the kind of houses you are building for them, the kind of house they want. They just need a toilet, a bathroom, a proper just house. And let the farm people, let the people build the house they want the way they want to build it. Instead, you are building 100 units for a 200,000 population, and you say you are going to allocate. How long are you going to do that for? That might take 200, even to might take more than 30 years for such a reconstruction. So we need to rethink the way in which we are doing things. If children have lost their loved ones, we need to say, okay, for all the children that have lost their their parents, we're going to have a system in place for free education for them and have their name, and then their wife could get money, which government could legislate and say, for all those people that are widows due to being victims of terrorism, we're going to be giving them 5,000 naira or something like that. No matter how small, those family will appreciate it, and then they will know they are valued. Instead, you say you are bringing Boko Haram people that have been Boko Haram members, you are calling them, and then you have not even interrogated them, you have not done anything. You are going to give them money and then resettle them. Which community will want to accept them? And then the military is they are the judge, the jury, and the executioner in this situation. They are the ones that are bringing in these people. They are the ones that are identifying them. They are the ones that are releasing them. They are the ones that are saying they are terrorists or they are not terrorists. There is no community intervention in that discussion or in that engagement. How will it work? Where will it get community confidence and acceptance of such? I hope that people watching me right now will share this, will actually share this video, because it is important. Bandits have taken over many parts in northern Nigeria and creating havoc. And yet we are saying we want to give them amnesty. And we have a, a cleric that is going around and saying if you don't give them amnesty, it's going to be trouble. Yet the governor of Kano State had come out to say that these guys are coming in with weapons. The governor of Katsina State has said that it is this group that is causing people are coming in and creating havoc, and yet we are playing lip service on it and lie politics to be to rule. Instead of us coming together in unity to address the challenges that we're facing. The borders in Nigeria is porous. So what lessons can we learn from the incident of 9/11 and the Taliban taking over Afghanistan? Lesson number one, it is not about big weapons, but it's about motivating the military and the people that are fighting in the war front, motivate them enough to be able to fight, and for them to know that even if they die for their nation, that their family will be taken care of. But when somebody knows that when he dies, even the payment, when he's alive, when he's in the war front, you are not even paying him the money. Not to talk of when he dies, what will he give to his family? When he knows his family will be kicked out of the barracks afterwards, there is no retirement plan, there is no plan. It is not fair. We need to review that. We also need to know that certain form of terrorism you cannot negotiate with the individuals, especially when it's religious motivated terrorism, because these individuals come with a particular mindset that needs a superior narrative to address. And if you do not use that superior narrative to counter their diabolical narrative, you will not be able to defeat them. They want to create a caliphate. They will even kill ordinary Muslims, not to talk of people that are not Muslims. So if you think that you can uh, just accept them because they've said they've changed, they've not changed. You need to really work on them and find out what is the driver of the radicalization and deconstruct those individuals. You need to get the community that understand these individuals involved in the de-radicalization of these individuals. You need to get psychologists involved. There are kids that have been born into Boko Haram. who are going to be 18 years old now. How can you now take kids that have been born into this, kids that are 9 years, 10 years old, that have lived with this Boko Haram, that the only thing they know is violence? How can you deconstruct these individuals to become valuable members of the community? These are the kind of discussions that we need to have. These are the kind of discussions that we need to have. That these individuals cannot just be deconstructed easily. It takes bringing in a superior narrative to be able to address the kind of poison that they are pushing out. And there seems to be very, very little things that have been done to address that kind of narrative. And that is something that I think that we can are lessons that we could learn from the 9/11. I also feel that we need to value the family that are victims of the terrorism and atrocities that have happened in the north. We have not done enough in that field, and I think we need to do a lot in that field. I honestly believe we need to work in that area. We need to work in that area. I would like to play this video on let me see. Uh hold on. Let me try and see if I could play this video, because I believe this video will. Oh, this video is not playing. So sir, let me try and play another video. It's one of those. We have so many videos that will add value to our deliberations today. I just want to play one of them and see where we get to. Hold on.
Will balance our 4 years before we go into rotation. But we are not asking for, like you call it, third time. No, we are not asking for third time. Nobody asks for third time. We will never ask for third time. We are democratic. We believe in democracy, and we are practicing democracy. That was why we said politics is a game of number, and we know we have the numbers. We are 120 million population from the north. Then the Fulanis have 40 million in population, and if you put that together, that will give you 160 million. And you can, out of the approximately 210 million as in being envisaged, the population of Nigeria, when you take 160 million out of 210 million, what is the balance? About 70 million. I cannot see how.
Those are the kind of funny narrative that is going on in Nigeria. I think the government need to be shutting down this kind of discussion, because these are the things that build hate, that breeds hate, and the government need to be talking to this kind of thing. When someone like that comes up and say he's talking about 40 million Fulanis, when you know that Fulani doesn't even have that kind of population, and that the number of people that have ever voted in Nigeria, Nigeria have never not boast of even 50 million people voting in Nigeria, even with 85, with the even 85 million that are registered voters. Nigeria have never had up to 50% of those people vote. Yet somebody is coming to say, oh, in 2023, we are going to bring about 150 instead of saying 170 million. So his mathematics is even wrong. But these are the kind of narrative that is out there, and the government is not doing anything to fight it. Because if the government is coming out and fighting those kind of narrative and say, no, you are wrong, both from the southwest or southeast or northeast or north, anybody that is coming, you are equal. You are attacking, you are dealing with all those narratives wrongly, immediately. tackling it and debunking it, then people will know that you are honest in your dealing with everybody. But when one speaks and you allow them to speak, and then when the other speaks, you go and pick them up and round them up. When this one speak, you go and round them up. When this one speak, you go and round them up. How, you know, it creates a bit of inequality. And then that is why people are agitating that they want to leave. That's why people are saying that they're not happy. That's why people are unpleased with what is happening. So we need to change the government. There are a lot of things that government need to really change in the way in which they deal with things. As we speak, there are 60,000 AK-47 in the hand of at least 120 bandit group in Nigeria. Most of them operating in the north area, and yet, and yet, nothing is actually being done rapidly to say, okay, if the government comes out and say, we know there are about 60,000, there are a lot of weapons in the hands of, bandits. We are going to, number one, suffocate them so that they can't get more weapons. Number two, we're going to make sure that the number of weapons in circulation is reduced drastically, and people can see. And when government is coming out to say, within a month we have get rid of 50, or we are able to seize about 5,000 weapons from bandits. If government is coming up, people then will be able to say, wow. People will be able to count with their fingers. Okay, if 5,000 weapons were taken in January, 2,000 were taken in June, 1,000 was taken in this, then people will say, okay, that's good. But in a situation where government say, oh, 5,000 Boko Haram members have surrendered, and yet they can't come out to say 1,000 weapons were recovered back from them, people will think this is a joke. You want to give these people money, you want to train them, you want to say that they can go back to their community and give them money. Yet they can't bring out trucks. They can't bring out 100 trucks. You can't bring out 100 trucks to say these are the weapons or trucks that we're able to recover back. You could see that that is part of the challenges that we face, when you're dealing with this issue, because a lot of people will not believe it, because a lot of people want a situation where they can say, you know what, this government is actually trying, this government is putting a lot into the work that they are doing. Because they talk about, oh, school security, and yet people can go into schools and cause all kind of havoc. And yet you are saying, oh, we're investing into schools, we're putting money into schools. Yet every time schools are being attacked, you see vulnerability, you see that the schools do not have any security at all. And you wonder, what is it that is happening in Nigeria, where an incident happened and lessons are not learned? It is very, very sad. It is very, very sad. And I think Nigerian government really need to work with the security agents, especially the private security companies, to make sure that they they complement what they do, build a containment strategy. In the counterterrorism strategy that the Nigeria have, they should implement it, have an implementation plan with it, and work with it. Those are the things that I think we really need to do. At this point, I would like to switch to Yoruba language, not because of anything. I think it is time to talk about some of the incidents that are happening in Yoruba land and some of the, atrocities. Unfortunately, the Sunday Igboho, who was leading the Yoruba nation, is still castrated in Benin Republic, and due to all the incident of you know incident faced by his followers in Lagos and some places where they've called for rally and they've been picked up and locked up. They are now moving their campaign overseas. In fact, I heard that there's going to be a big rally in New York, and we're saying, can that rally actually help them to be able to, uh, put pressure on the Nigerian government, because they're going there, when all the uh, leaders of the world are going to be in New York. You know, we did really have impact. So I'm going to speak in Yoruba language now. Ẹ káalẹ́, ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò. A fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lórí nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ilẹ̀ káàárọ̀ òjíire. Wọ́n ní pẹ̀lú Sunday Igboho tí wọ́n mú àti àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ tí àwọn DSS sọ pé àwọn mú mọ́lẹ̀ tí wọn ò dẹ̀ fẹ́ release àti ẹ̀gbọ́ táwọn DSS sọ pé gbogbo fáìlì táwọn create fáìlì pé àwọn one chance wọ́n jí nínú mọ́tò which is very disgraceful. Ẹ béèrè pé ṣé kìí ṣe kọ̀ǹpútà náà fi táìpù ẹ̀ ni? Tó bá fi kọ̀ǹpútà táìpù ẹ̀ ṣe bí wọ́n á dẹ̀ lè gbé dọ́kúmẹ̀ntì yẹn wọ́n á lè gbé lọ sí kóòtù after. Ó show yín pé the way tí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì fi ṣe nǹkan Nàìjíríà even pẹ̀lú àwọn tó ń fẹ́ support wọn gan sometimes tẹ́ bá wo bọ́ ṣe ń ṣe nǹkan ẹ máa rí pé the way they do things is not right. Wọn ò ṣe dáadáa. Ẹ kàn lè mú àwọn èèyàn kẹ̀dẹ̀ dè wọ́n mọ́lẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn kẹ̀dẹ̀ sọ pé pé bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ṣe irú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ ló jẹ́ kí a lot of people máa join wọn. But a ti rí pé ara nǹkan tá à ń gbọ́ fìnìfìnì nísìnyí pé mi ò dẹ̀ mọ how true it is but fìnìfìnì tí mò ń gbọ́ ni pé ó rí pé àwọn Yorùbá nation gan náà lọ́pọ̀ àwọn náà fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sitting sit at home bí àwọn ti Biafra ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ torí kìíní yẹn ti múlẹ̀ débi pé even àwọn gómìnà kan ní north ní south east ní sì sọ pé ìwọ ọlọ́jà leader tó wà ní ọjà tí ẹ bá ti ṣí ọjà báyìí a máa sáàkì ẹni a máa yọ kúrò lóyè nítorí pé wọ́n rí pé kìíní yẹn ti affect àwọn. So wọ́n wá ní pé ní ilẹ̀ káàárọ̀ òjíire pé ó rí pé àwọn èèyàn náà ti sọ pé òkè ìṣẹ́yẹ̀ tá a fi máa lọ fèsì gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì sì sọ pé gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì gan táwọn bá ti jáde ṣe náà ń gbé àwọn máa sọ fáwọn èèyàn ní ilẹ̀ south west pé káwọn èèyàn jókòó sílé níbi ọjọ́ Tuesday náà fẹ́ ṣe tiwọn níbi ọjọ́ Friday ní o níbi ọjọ́ Monday ní o wọ́n ní wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe yẹn Ọlọ́run ló mọ̀. Ṣé ẹ believe pé àwọn ọmọ káàárọ̀ òjíire máa really agree sí yẹn? That is something that I'm looking at because I see that àwọn èèyàn wa Yorùbá bó ṣe ń ṣe nǹkan wọn ó yàtọ̀ sí bí àwọn èèyàn mi ṣe máa ń ṣe nǹkan ní ọ̀dọ̀ wa. I know that tí ẹ bá wò ó lọ wájú tẹ́ bá wò ó lọ ẹ̀yẹ máa rí pé bí Yorùbá ṣe máa ń ṣe nǹkan ó different. Àwọn èèyàn dẹ̀ béèrè tẹ́ bá sọ pé ẹ fẹ́ dúró de pé ṣé Yorùbá lè ṣé wọ́n lè pé wàhálà máa wà nítorí a lot of people ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá gbogbo yẹn tí wọ́n lè ṣe ní ilẹ̀ Ìgbò tẹ́ pé wọ́n lè ṣe tẹ́ pé wàá ṣe tẹ́ pé wọ́n dẹ̀ máa ṣe pé nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tẹ́ bá dánrú ẹ̀ wò pé ẹ kàn máa waste time yín ni àwọn èèyàn ò ní jáde and that is part of the things tí àwọn Sunday Igboho ti realize pé ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn kọ̀ọ̀kan jáde tẹ́ bá rí lè wò gan wọn ò ní jáde. Yorùbá wọ́n ní Yorùbá ronú ni Yorùbá sọra wọn di bọ́ọ̀lù káráyé gbá tó bá gbá wọn sókè wàá tún gbá wọn sísàlẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ á fetí sí orin yìí ká tó continue pẹ̀lú program wa in some few minutes.
Ìran Yorùbá ò ẹ fúnra. Ìran Yorùbá ò ẹ fúnra. Bárúṣà òfin ó já síná. Àjà òfúnra ó ajá jẹ. Onílé tí kò bá fúnra olè ní oko. Ṣé bí òwe àwọn bàbá wa náà ni o? Ìran Yorùbá ò ẹ fúnra. Ìran Yorùbá ò ìran mi.
Okay, ẹ káàbọ̀. So ọ̀rọ̀ náà lẹ ti gbọ́ yẹn, ìran Yorùbá ìran tẹ́ pé bó ṣe wà yẹn kò sí nǹkan tí wọ́n lè ṣe. Yorùbá ẹgẹ́ ìtàn wọn ní kí Yorùbá ronú. Ṣé Yorùbá ṣé wọ́n lè come together? Gbogbo bí àwọn apààyàn tó fi ń wọnú ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó ń dá wàhálà lẹ́tẹ̀ pé àwọn èèyàn ò lè lọ sínú oko kọ́ pa àwọn èèyàn kan rèpù wọn, gbogbo èèyàn náà làwọn èèyàn dẹ̀ ń sọ. Àwọn èèyàn wá sọ pé òkè káwọn gọ́fúnà, a mọ̀ pé gọ́fúnà Lagos State nísìnyí wọ́n ti sáà ní open graze pé wọ́n ti bá open graze, a mọ̀ pé Ondo náà ti ṣe. Àmọ́ ó pẹ̀lú bó ṣe yẹn náà a gbọ́ táwọn pípù yìí sọ pé irọ́ o ní right láti ṣe. Ẹ jẹ́ má believe pé ṣé ìlú ni ìlú Nàìjíríà. Of course, I think it's important to differentiate. Àwọn Fúlàní tó bá ti gbé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó ti pẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n ti di ara wa náà. Tó bá dẹ̀ ní ẹran tó bá lè maintain ẹran ẹ̀ tó keep in one place, why not? Àwọn people sọ pé ẹni káwọn máa ṣe ranch, àwọn ò lè ń tẹ́ pé ẹran bíi 20 or 30 ló ní, màálù 20 or 30 ló ní. Àwọn ò lè ní owó láti create ranch. So those are things pé ó yẹ kí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì wò kó wò bí wọ́n ṣe lè work pẹ̀lú àwọn tó jẹ́ pé Fúlàní tó yẹ pé ó wà ní ọ̀dọ̀ wa. Àmọ́ gbogbo pé kọ́ máa da ẹran láti north wá south yẹn kò yẹ kó ṣẹlẹ̀. Ní ìlú Saudi Arabia bí ìlú yẹn ṣe àṣìtó, wọ́n mọ bó ṣe, ó ní nǹkan tí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì lè ṣe tẹ́ pé even àwọn grass kan lè, àwọn grass tẹ́ pé wà nourish lè grow ní ilẹ̀ north tẹ́ pé wọ́n dẹ̀ lè keep ilẹ̀ north tóbi yàpàdà tó lè keep wọ́n bẹ̀. Ìṣe dandan kọ́ máa wá sísàlẹ̀ kọ́ dẹ̀ máa gbébọn bí gọ́vnà Kánò ṣe tó ń gbébọn tẹ́ pé wọ́n dẹ̀ ń dá wàhálà lẹ̀. Àwọn kan mo tún gbọ́ pé wọ́n ti fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá pé àwọn máa sọ pé káwọn èèyàn má jẹ ẹran ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, ẹ pé ọjọ́ Friday náà máa sọ di pé kí wọ́n má máa jẹran mọ́, so that tí àwọn èèyàn bá táwọn èèyàn wá bẹ̀ kọ́ máa ní ẹ máa lọ ra ẹja o, ẹ máa jẹ ẹja, ẹ máa jẹ ìgbín, ẹ máa jẹ nǹkan míì bọ̀, àmọ́ ẹran yẹn ẹ má jẹ ẹran, ẹ má jẹ màálù. Pé tó bá lè ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀, tó bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ every Friday tí wọ́n ní àwọn ò jẹran mọ́, pé báyà ìyẹn gan máa jẹ́ kí àwọn people rò pé àwọn people really serious. Tó ó ti dé point ẹ pé káwọn èèyàn má lè lo oko, káwọn èèyàn má lè sùn kẹ́ pé kidnapping ṣáá ni ẹ bá dúrà pé ọ̀kẹ́ pa lè sínú oko ẹ̀, èèyàn ò dẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ mí. Táwọn ẹran yín bá jẹ poison inú oko lóko, ẹ máa pa wọ́n ni. tó gbórú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ló yẹ kó stop. So ẹgbẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá náà wọ́n dẹ̀ ní láti wá ọ̀nà tó fi máa kóra wọn jọ nìkan, bọ̀ kì í ṣọ̀rọ̀ pé kẹ́ máa bú àwọn èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe lè come together láti achieve strong region, a strong Yorùbá nation region. Yẹ kẹ́ máa lé, kì í ṣe pé kẹ́ máa bú ọ máa bú lé gbogbo yẹn. Yẹ ká yọsẹ̀ ká kúrò away from that childish behaviour. Ká wo bí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ṣe lè tòrò, bí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ṣe lè lóòkè. Káwọn èèyàn máa wá láti wọ́n níyàn kan tó sọ tó wá láti ìlú òyìnbó tó yẹ pé wájú ọmọ ẹ̀ náà ti pa ní Ìbàdàn express road ní some few weeks ago. Ìyẹn ò dá ní ìlú tẹ́ pé ńgbà tẹ́mi ń grow up a máa rìn láàrin òru ẹ pé kò ṣe é rìn mọ́ nísìn. Gbogbo orú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn kò bójú mu ní ilẹ̀ káàárọ̀ oòjíire, and we must be able to stop. But the only way to stop it is if we come together, not by violence but by asking for our rights. And nǹkan táwọn gómìnà wa ń ṣe náà ó yẹ kí ká endorse ẹ̀, ká lè sọ pé enough is enough. We need to stop all this. We need to stop all this nonsense. So those are the kind of things we need to really look into. So nǹkan tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ nísìnyí ni pé báwo ni ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ṣe lè tòrò, báwo ni ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ṣe lè avoid gbogbo conflict tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní north, torí ó ń bọ̀ ní Yorùbá náà máa sọ a ní láti wá ìwé ìtẹ́ pé a fi lè avoid gbogbo nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní north kó má dé ọ̀dọ̀ wa. Torí nígbà kan tẹ́lẹ̀ nígbà tí àwọn Boko Haram bẹ̀rẹ̀ wípé àwọn ẹgbẹ́ ìlú wọn ni wọ́n wà yẹn ara wọn náà pa but nísìn àdẹ̀mọ̀ pé a lot of àwọn Boko Haram members ẹni wọ́n arrest ní Èkó tọ́lọ́run fún wa ṣe tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n rí wọn arrest imagine pé wọ́n wá láti wá kọ́kọ́ ju bọ́ọ̀bù méjì mẹ́ta lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ yẹn ni ọ̀dà wàhálà lẹ́nìyẹn ọlọ́mà ṣe kó má fún wọn ní àǹfààní yẹn so ojú àti everything ní aláríran so we need to be very very careful ní south ká dẹ̀ make sure pé a deal pẹ̀lú issue yìí ẹ̀gẹ́ ká deal pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ dáadáa ká make sure pé ọ̀rọ̀ terrorism ọ̀rọ̀ banditry yẹn pé a reduce ẹ̀ to minimum to the zero ká dẹ̀ help àwọn tó wà ní north náà láti lè get rid of it by encouraging them to do the right thing torí nǹkan tí wọ́n ṣe at the moment kò sí bó ṣe lè continue by láti sọ pé bó ṣe lọ ṣe lè get rid of Boko Haram I don't think it's going to work they need to move much faster than that there's a lot of things that need to change bá ṣe ń ṣe nǹkan then we need to change our approach the approach tá à ń take yìí kò work. Ẹ̀gbọ́n wa wọ́n béèrè lọ́wọ́ wa ní orí platform ẹ ṣé gan tẹ́ bá wò wá wákàtí òwe ẹ bá wa like page ẹ bá wa share page àwọn ẹ bá wà ní London tó wà wà ní London náà lọ́n wà l'Abuja ẹ máa bá wa share fídíò yìí kẹ́ bá wa share ẹ bá wa share bọ́dà ní what will you advise Yoruba to do in order of their defences there are so many things tí a lè ṣe ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá the first thing tó yẹ pé wọ́n bá fún mi ní tó bá yàtọ̀ sí the creation of Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn which I think is a good thing I think Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn is just an operational body I think they need to be an intelligent of it an intelligent gathering body tẹ́ pé apart from Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn personally if you ask me I think there need to be an intelligent gathering body tẹ́ pé every state yẹ kó create tẹ́ pé wọ́n máa ní not command and control but command and communication unit tẹ́ pé wọ́n máa gather gbogbo àwọn ọmọ wa tó ríṣẹ́ yẹn kó sọ wọ́n di intelligent officer tó máa gather intelligent gather èèyàn báyìí wọnú ìlú báyìí èèyàn báyìí wọ bí èèyàn báyìí wọ bí èèyàn báyìí wọ bí kó dẹ̀ gather àwọn information yẹn kó dẹ̀ send ẹ̀ sí center yẹn á wá kó information yẹn jọ tó bá kó information yẹn náà fún máa feed the operational activities níyẹn at the moment and that is a serious issue that I think we need to really look into that is number one then number two I think ilẹ̀ Yorùbá wọ́n ní láti gather gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tó wà involved in security like a Southwest Security Summit kó wá sọ̀rọ̀ pa what are the 10 security challenges tó bá highlight àwọn 10 security challenges ẹ̀ kó wá sọ̀rọ̀ pa bá a ṣe lè deal pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ tó bá sọ̀rọ̀ pa bá a ṣe lè deal pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ kó wá create a template ká sọ pé in 5 years or in 2 years this is what we want to deal with so we'll be able to tackle it so at the moment everybody is firefighting but if for example we say let's just give example pé there are banditry challenges there are ritualist challenges there is different those are the 10 tó bá list the 10 here when you list those 10 you now say what kind of intervention la lè put in place to address those 10 issues tá bá sọ pa those 10 issues tá bá sọ pa those 10 things láti lè fi address those challenges our create an implementation plan tá bá create implementation plan yẹn òun àwọn governors òun àwọn local government máa mú so we will create it this is what you can do at state level this is what you can do at local level this is what you can do at a town level this is what you can do at a village level a máa break it down ìyẹn ni parameters that máa measure security so that anywhere you go across Southwest they will have a uniform approach so it can be done both physical and remotely. There are so many people that are military personnel that will have something to add. There's so many people that are ex-police officers that will have something to add. There's so many people that work in waterways that will have something to add. There's so many people that work in the legal aspect that will add something to add. You bring all those people together and then they create a Southwest security plan, implementation plan, and say this is a 5-year, 10-year plan, and this is how we want to do it. Neighborhood from neighborhood, town to town, region from region. Moteku will be inside it, and then all kind of things will be inside it. You found out that Tabashebe, they set the parameters, and people are meeting on a quarterly basis to learn from each other on how they've been able to implement those plans. You found out that we will be able to move at a higher pace in creating safety and security. As we come out to say, these are the 10 challenges in Southwest Nigeria, and this is how we're going to tackle it. If you don't say that, then it's difficult to be able to tackle it, because all we're doing is boxing into the Google Kotachi. I can buy a fefe jani. Tabakwe komewa buy ló ń da ilẹ̀ káàárọ̀ oòjíire ló ń dà láàmú. Kàdẹ̀ ní àwọn oògùn, àwọn ways tá fi lè dí pẹ̀lú àwọn kíní rè. Kàdẹ̀ set parameter kàdẹ̀ ní okay within 1 year nǹkan báyìí la fẹ́ ká ṣe ní àwọn oko wa o. Ìgbèrò oko, nǹkan báyìí la fẹ́ ká ṣe ní àwọn ìlú wa o. Nǹkan báyìí la fẹ́ ṣe ní state level, nǹkan báyìí la fẹ́ ká ṣe regional level. Àwọn kan wà tẹ́ pé àwọn gómìnà ló máa ṣe. Àwọn kan wà tẹ́ pé àwọn lọ́balọ́ba ló máa ṣe. Àwọn kan wà tẹ́ pé vigilante ló máa ṣe. Everybody have more parameters in between one. And when we work like that, you find out that we're able to move things forward. When you have those kind of things, then it's easier for our be Sunday Bo and the likes of you to say area area. That's the way it works. But at the moment, everybody is just saying everything and everybody is doing everything. Then apart from that, then you should need, like we've discussed before, we need to create jobs within our community. So we need to have Yoruba Engineer Association. We need to have Yoruba Lawyers Association. We need to have Yoruba Security Association. We need to have Yoruba Politician Association. We need to have all those different group, carpentry, and let them come together and say, this is how we're going to build the Yoruba land. Then that is where you add value. Yoruba business, small business association. Okay, little businesses west. There's no Southwest medium business enterprises association. It doesn't exist. Those are the kind of things we need to create. When you create them, let them now start to talk of how they can build their business within Southwest with the peculiarity of the challenges in Southwest. And then that networking will help them to be able to engage and add value. Irú àwọn kan bẹ́ẹ̀ la ní láti ṣe. Ìyé kankan máa bú àwọn èèyàn ká búlé, àbá bú ọbalé, a máa sọ́nkò, àbá búlé alẹ́ useless, ọbalé ló dá, tá à ń múfẹ̀, tá à ń join ẹ̀mọ́ Mọ̀dákẹ́kẹ́, tá à ń mú John orí Ìbàdàn mọ́ orí Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́, tá à ń join orí Èkìtì, tá à ń join ẹ̀mọ́ Ìjẹ̀bú. It will not gonna work. So those are the kind of things that need láti ṣe. And I believe if we do that, we'll be able to move things forward and actually get a better Ilekaro. I am not against Ilekaro from a regional perspective becoming strong and bigger and better. I believe, I so much believe that Ilekaro can do a lot and actually achieve a lot. But I don't believe that we can achieve it by violence. And I believe here's the moving of the campaign to work for demonstration and all those kind of things will really showcase the issue and draw world attention to the issue. But we also need to have implementation plan. If we turn around, lónìí ká sọ pé okay o, tí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó bá dìde kan báyìí ni àwọn ọmọ káàárọ̀ oòjíire tó jẹ́ business people lè enjoy. Then that's what they will see and that's why they will join it. Ẹ wo kan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ilẹ̀ Igbo tó ní kó sit at home. We must sit at home now. Débi pé àwọn gómìnà yẹn kò ní wọ́n ní wọ́n lẹ́nu bẹ̀ tó pé wọ́n ti ń threaten tí ò bá affect wọn àwọn gómìnà ò ní threaten pé tí ò bá lọ sọ́jà tí ò bá sọ́jà àwọn máa sack wọn. It's because they know that it's really affecting them. So there's a lot of things. Táwọn náà bá sọ pé okay o ẹ má jẹran mọ́ o every Friday káwọn èèyàn máa lọ rẹ ẹja before you know what's happening pé ẹja dá fára àwọn ẹja dá lára táwọn náà kí ẹja nìkan lára máa jẹ o ní ọjọ́ Friday o gbogbo àwọn tó jẹ́ Catholic náà wọn kúkú jẹran lọ́jọ́ Friday ó yá ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá anybody gbọ́dọ̀ jẹran ní ọjọ́ Friday o tẹ́lẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ díẹ̀ ilé kò síjà bẹ́ẹ̀ ìrọ̀lẹ́ rẹ tó mọ gbogbo àwọn tó ń pa ẹran gbàgbọ́ bá pa ẹran tó rí pé ẹran àwọn máa bàjẹ́ overnight kó tó dọjọ́ Saturday àwọn gan ò ní pẹran mọ́ ìyẹn mi pé the number of ẹran tí wọ́n ń pa dé ọjọ́ Friday ó máa reduce then àwọn aláwùsá àwọn people náà wò pé òkè táwọn náà bá negotiate pẹ̀lú àwọn èèyàn báyà àwọn máa ní láti negotiate pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá pé òkè o àwọn máa make sure pé àwọn èèyàn nítorí ẹran àwọn torí àwọn èèyàn sọ pé ẹ value àwọn ẹran yìí ju ẹ̀mí èèyàn lọ àwa dẹ̀rẹ̀ ní ilẹ̀ káàró òjìrè a value life wa tó yẹ la fi lóríkì tó yẹ làwọn èèyàn fi ní oríkì fi ní a lot of ǹjẹ́ àwọn èèyàn fi ń yí òkú padà after 5 years 10 years Haúsá tó bá ti kú wọ́n ti kú nìyẹn ẹ mọ̀ so it's a mindset don compare sáwa. And that's the reason why it's important that we let them understand our cultural differences. Okay, when you're in Rome, you act like a Roman. Tẹ́bá ti wà ní ìlú wa, nǹkan báyìí la fẹ́ ká ṣe, a ní láti gbé gbóńdó, a ní láti gbé àdá láti sọ fún wọn pé nǹkan báyìí la fi pẹ́ ní láti ṣe. So those are the kind of things and discussion we need to have. And get it. So I believe that if we have to start to have this effective discussion, it will add value. More than pé ká máa gbé kíní wọlé ìran. Gudu, Jaba, everything like that. No, we must move away from those kind of approach. We need to move away from those kind of approach. Allah adé fi ṣọ́ ẹ̀ṣọ́ wa, Allah á jẹ́ kí gbogbo nǹkan tá à ń ṣe, Allah á jẹ́ kó yọrí sí i. Ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ò ní bàjẹ́ o, gbogbo nǹkan tá à ń ṣe, Allah á bá wa fèrè sí o. Ẹ jẹ́ á move away from violence, ẹ jẹ́ á move away from ìjà, ẹ jẹ́ á move into adding more value to Yoruba land, and God will bless you all. Eshegon, thank you so much. Every Tuesday, Thursday and Friday, program wa máa ń wáyé tẹ̀lé wo program wa ẹ bá wo Wákàtí Òwe ẹ bá wa like page wa ẹ bá wa share ẹ bá sọ fáwọn èèyàn pé wọ́n lè wò wá ní ojú afẹ́fẹ́. I get it. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again on Tuesday. Looking forward to seeing you on Thursday, every 8 p.m. on Tuesday, 8 p.m. on Thursday, and 5 p.m. on Saturday. La máa ń ṣe program, but this is a special program. Tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀ pa nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Afghanistan àti ní America ní àná tí wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti máa pe orúkọ gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n kú as a result of ìgbà tó fly plane wọ inú àwọn towers yẹn ní New York orúkọ wọn àrí kí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì wá pé orúkọ anybody àrí kí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì wá pé ní orí self defence mo mọ̀ pé there is a firearm amendment bill tí wọ́n ń gbé wọlé tí wọ́n ń sọ̀rọ̀ pa nísìn tó ní pé 18-year-old Nigerians should be able to carry arms. Personally, if you believe pé I take one step after the other. I believe that private companies ní kọ́kọ́ fún ní right láti máa gbé ìbọn náà tó bá fún private security company right yẹn ó máa jẹ́ kí ó wà controlled. Then táwọn èèyàn people bá mọ̀ pé àwọn private security company wà tí locality àwọn local village àwọn towns lè employ láti gbébọn then ó máa easier fáwọn people láti mọ̀ pé àwọn èèyàn then I personally believe pé ní Nigeria limited individuals with restricted right ó yẹ kó lè jẹ́ kó gbébọn tó táwọn èèyàn bá mọ̀ pé ẹni inú ilé táwọn àbí táwọn fẹ́ wọ̀ àwọn èèyàn wà níbẹ̀ tó gbébọn wọ́n máa think twice but ìbọn rẹ̀ yàtọ̀ sáwọn ìbọn tó máa gbé kì í ṣe AK-47 so even tí ẹ bá aláwọn èèyàn kan gbébọn táwọn kan dẹ̀ sì ń gbé AK-47 tí wọ́n dẹ̀ wà control ìyẹn máa ní wàhálà nù so we need to actually have a different approach and look at how we can change things. That is my personal opinion lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn. Ẹ ṣé gan tí ẹ wò wá, mo dẹ̀ hope pé ẹ máa bá wa share page, ẹ máa bá wa like page. Orúkọ tèmi ni Temitope Olodo tí mo bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ láti United Kingdom. Ẹ ṣé gan tí ẹ join wa ní òní, àti máa retí yín ní ọjọ́ Tuesday àti ọjọ́ Friday, ọjọ́ Tuesday, Thursday àti Saturday. God bless you and God bless the